Hi there. You're listening or watching the Live Radiantly talk show on YouTube. This is a show that I produce weekly. I write and deliver it on a local radio station, and by request, I've also turned it into a video. So, you're going to hear my practice for the show I'm about to deliver. You're listening to Live Radiantly, a talk show dedicated to guiding you through the challenges of life with creativity, curiosity, and a spark of imagination. My name is Stephanie McLeod-Estevez. I'm an art therapist and breast cancer survivor. I'm passionate about helping everyone, including myself, feel resilient and capable so that we can navigate the ups and downs of life and discover our unique radiance. After all, your radiance is how you can identify what's possible so that you can move from surviving to thriving. Join me each week as I discuss thought-provoking themes and then guide you through a live art therapy experiential so that you can explore how the theme impacts your life with the goal of understanding yourself better. While I do hope that you'll walk away each week feeling inspired, please note that this show is not a replacement for therapy itself. I do hope that what I have to share will benefit how you see yourself, others, and the world around you. And then I give a disclaimer about the radio show, the station. So today we're going to do a deep dive into the nuances of our feelings. In the second half of the show, we'll do an art therapy experiential that will help you explore this theme. If you've never tried art therapy before, no worries. I'm going to guide you through the process. And like everything else, it gets easier the more you try. A quick note, you can do art therapy by actually creating something on paper, of course, or by using your imagination. The good news is that both ways can benefit you. So if you're driving in a car or unable to stop what you're doing to draw and paint, that's okay. You can imagine what you'd create, and then when you have time, put it down on paper. One of the things that I experienced early on in my therapy practice is that for many clients, they had trouble identifying how they felt. They could identify one or two, core feelings, but more often than not, what they were actually feeling was way more nuanced. Those feelings that had never been affirmed by these were those feelings, rather, that had never been affirmed by their primary caregivers. Over time, we could connect them to words and differentiated them in a more clear and satisfying way, which led to my clients having greater self-awareness and finding solutions that worked. I was so curious about this phenomenon. As I thought about the process of understanding your feelings, I began to see some patterns. For example, I think that most of us tend to form a certain level of comfort with one or two feelings that represent how we are, our pain, etc. This kind of comfort isn't actually about feeling good, though. Rather, it reflects what feels familiar to us, what we are used to. So if you're someone who's dealt with a lot of anxiety in your life, for example, when emotional pain happens, it might be expressed as anxiety. But when you dig in deeper, you actually discover that what's there is anger or sadness or a combination, etc. And these unidentified feelings can wreak havoc until you sort them out. Because one thing I know about feelings is that they can carry important messages for you about what's happening in your life. And they will hang around and keep resurfacing until they've delivered their message. And trust me, I know this can be very challenging to accept and deal with. Why do we struggle with some feelings and feel more fluid with others? Oh, so many reasons. But if you boil it down, it has a lot to do with your conditioning, what was modeled for you in terms of how to manage and express feelings, and how the feelings of your closest relationships have influence and impact the connection between you. Whatever the reason, the effect that you can't see the nuances of your feelings, which ends up creating confusion and distress when they start to speak up to you. This can cause a lot of pain, but when you learn how to hold space for your feelings, you can change the way you engage with them. This not only leads to healing and growth, it grows your resiliency. So, as I was figuring out how to help myself and others to differentiate, feel, and express feelings with authenticity and grace, I stumbled upon this incredible work by Sharon Dragney Gerstenzang, hopefully I'm saying the name right, who was writing a book about the primary emotions and how they serve you when they flow more naturally through your system. Sadly, she passed away in an accident before the book was finished. So I feel blessed that I was able to download a chart from the book she was writing called Surf Your Soul, Conquer Your World. As I describe the chart to you, I encourage you to pay attention to what jumps out, because it may reflect what emotions are wanting you to understand them better. And if you'd like to see the chart, feel free to send me an email and I'll get it to you. So this chart has 4 primary domains called feeling families that produce nuanced emotions when the feeling members or the family members of one domain mix with another. She includes words to describe the felt sensation of each emotion. So the 4 domains are: number 1, the fear family members like nervousness and startle, avoidance and retreat, pessimism and resist. Alertness and tingle. Lost myself. So, okay, fear of family members, nervousness and startle, avoidance and retreat, alertness and tingle. The sad family members are fatigue and numb, pessimism and resist, helplessness and shrink. Then we have the anger family members, selfishness and grip, aggressiveness and push, impatience and writhe. Number 4 are the happiness family members, excitement and wiggle, optimism and open, unselfishness and relax. Do these feel familiar to you? I hope so. Which family groups do you feel more comfortable, aka more familiar with? And which ones cause you to feel uncomfortable? That might give you a good sign as to where you're at in this process. Not only do I love the 4 domains, but I love how she showed the impact one has on one another. So here it goes. When your happiness and fear families blend, you get joy. When fear and sadness blend, you get pain. When anger and sadness blend, you get patience. When happiness and anger blend, you get compassion. When happiness and sadness blend, you get humility. And when fear and anger combine, you get courage. So hopefully your takeaway is that you can experience the full range of your feelings, that when you can, you receive a lot in return. And if that's a struggle for you, please know that this is super normal and a sign that exploring this theme in therapy could be incredibly beneficial for your health and wellness. If this theme is resonating for you, take a moment to acknowledge what is coming up. This week's Art Therapy Experiential is going to help you explore. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about art therapy and how it works. So at this point in the show, I'd remind people who maybe are just tuning in that they're listening to Live Radiantly. Today, I'd like to talk about the 6 ways art therapy can serve as an emotional first aid kit. Art therapy can help you explore the nuances of your feelings, so it's a valuable tool to go with this theme. But if today is your first time trying art therapy, I want you to know that you do not need to be an artist to benefit from this practice. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Essentially, art therapy is a type of communication that uses color, shape, and form to tell your story. The most important thing to know is that this is a practice of trusting what your creative instinct wants you to do. So if you feel a little nervous, it's okay. It won't last forever. So here are the 6 ways that art therapy can serve as your emotional first aid kit. Number 1, a meditative art process. Take a break by immersing yourself in the creative process. Find a focus for your drawing, like a potted plant, and replicate it or do your best. Or put on a song and paint what the music sounds like to you. Number 2, tell the story of what's happening inside. Whether it's a memory, stress from the present moment, etc., illustrate what's coming up and let the paper or canvas hold on to it for you. Number 3, visual journaling for clarity. Use the combination of art and writing to express what feels confusing. This can help you calm your nervous system, increase self-awareness and understanding, and discover creative solutions. Number 4, adult coloring books. These are structured art making opportunities that can help you feel more grounded and safe. Life might not feel predictable, but the coloring page you are working with helps you feel more contained because all you need to do is add color and bring it to life. Number 5, refocus your brain with crafts. Knitting, crocheting, and other craft activities can give your brain a break by refocusing it on something that requires concentration for construction. And finally, visualization. Take yourself mentally to a place that you love. Engage your senses further to enhance the relaxation that this brings. What do you see, smell, hear, taste, and or touch when you are there? And how can you reflect this through art? I hope that these ideas of how art therapy can be your emotional first aid kit feel inspiring to you. As with everything in life, the more you practice using art therapy as a way to communicate, the easier it gets. So at this point in the show, I put on a song so I can drink some water, which I'm going to do here. Then I say, welcome back. You're listening to Live Radiantly on WMPG. My name is Stephanie. In the second half of the show, I'm inviting you to try art therapy, whether that's on paper or in your imagination. I'll guide you through a meditation that will help you explore today's theme. Once this is complete, I'll put on a song so that you can continue to draw or imagine how today's theme of the nuances of your feelings is showing up for you right here, right now. Whatever comes up is what you're going to draw or paint, or visualize rather. Trust your instinct. Just before the show ends, I'll be back with guidance on where to go from here and an invitation. So today we're going to become scientists conducting an experiment that validates our feelings. If you are in a place where you can soften or close your eyes, please do so, because this will help you get in touch with yourself. If you're not able to do that, it's okay. Get as comfortable as you can. Take a breath in and out. Imagine that you are a scientist and somehow you've been able to turn emotions into elixirs that you can use to test the theories of psychology. In front of you are bottles that hold the family members of each emotional unit: fear, sadness, happiness, and anger. And you are going to observe what happens when they get mixed together. As you go through this meditation, whatever you see, whatever you feel, trust how the experience impacts you and any wisdom or insight that comes through for you. In front of you, you see that there's a clean set of Petri dishes. Your gloves and glasses are on. Your microscope is ready to see how these feelings respond when they are mixed with one another. You start by putting a few drops of fear onto the dish. And then you pick up the happiness bottle and put a few more drops in the dish. As you watch them mingle, you realize that they are indeed creating joy. You see the molecules transform as they jump about expressing their joy. You see how these emotions have transformed into a new color, and you feel that joy dancing within you. After recording your observations, you pick up the anger bottle and put a few drops of anger on the dish. Next, you pick up the sadness bottle and watch how the molecules transform with one another. As they mix together, they create the most patient reply. For sadness mixed with anger helps you to wait and be patient. Notice the color that blooms when sadness and anger make patience, and feel patience taking up space within you. Your experiments continue to affirm the theory that when our emotions are allowed to coexist with one another, they transform each other. When anger and fear unite, you see that they create courage. Notice what courage looks like, feels like under the microscope, and where it lives within you. When anger and happiness mix, compassion is born. And just like all of the other mixtures you've witnessed today, this compassion glows and grows within the dish. You see the molecules of compassion and feel how powerful it is. To see that anger and happiness combine to make compassion, which serves each and every one of us, including you. Your day is done. You pack away the bottles of emotions. You clean your space. You tuck away the notebook with your observations and gently put away the Petri dishes and microscope and hang up your lab coat. You smile because your experiments affirmed that every single feeling we have serves a purpose in our lives, and that you can gain greater self-awareness by naming them and finding space for them to communicate and connect within you. Take a breath in and out. Feel the support of the surface beneath you, bringing you back to the here and now. Tune into your experience and the intuitive knowledge that has surfaced during this meditation. If nothing comes to mind, allow that to be your experience today. The messages might come to you as you use art therapy to represent what you experience during this visualization. When you feel really connected to your experience, begin or continue to use creativity to reflect what happened on paper or in your imagination. Your creation may want to be abstract or lifelike. Trust your instinct as to what color, shape, and form it wants to be. Enjoy creating and reflecting. At this point, I put on a song. We'll reconnect after the song is done. So if you'd like to do this live, or now that you've listened, press pause, but please come back to the video because I have final words to share that I hope will enrich this experience for you. Okay, welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're catching the tail end of the Live Radiantly show. I've just guided listeners through an art therapy experiential, which you can benefit from once this episode is live under the podcast archives. If you've just come through the experiential with me, congratulations, you did it. You may need more time to explore, and I hope you give yourself the time that you deserve. But before we go, give your creation a title. Whatever it is, the very first thing that comes to mind. Often this brings additional awareness and insight into its meaning. Write it down or mentally note what it is. I'd love to leave you today with a quote from the amazing Maya Angelou. She reminds us, if you're always trying to be normal, you'll never know how amazing you can be. So let's be weird together and accept the full range, the nuances of our feelings and what they bring into our lives. May this quote serve you well as you continue to contemplate today's theme. I invite you to be in touch with me. I love connecting with listeners, or in this case, viewers. So all of my contact details are in my YouTube profile. In addition to that, you can find other resources, etc. So feel free to reach out. But before we say goodbye, let's take a moment to breathe in what we've created together. Do you feel a shift inside? May this experience continue to reverberate throughout your day. Until we meet again, I invite you to spark your curiosity and tune into your creativity so that you can live radiantly. Have a beautiful day from my heart to yours.